Tonight, I want to talk about desire. Not the shallow kind. Not the kind that appears for 5 seconds, disappears, and gets replaced by something else. I mean the real desire. The one that stays with you. The one that follows you into the morning. The one that returns when the room is quiet. The one that keeps whispering, "This matters. This is for you. Don't ignore me." Most people think desire is something you chase, something outside you. A thing, a person, a career, a breakthrough, a life. But what if desire is not something you run after? What if desire is something you tune into? What if the reason most people never fulfill what they truly want is not because they are lazy, cursed, untalented, or unlucky, but because they are too noisy to hear what they actually want? There is a David Lynch way of looking at this, a strange way, a deep way, a way that does not begin with force. It begins with silence. Lynch often spoke about ideas as if they were fish. If you stay near the surface, you catch little fish. Small ideas, weak desires, borrowed ambitions, things you think you should want. But if you go deeper, you find the big fish. The beautiful ones, the powerful ones, the ideas that change your life. And I think desire works the same way. A shallow mind produces shallow wants. More approval, more distraction, more proof, more noise, more attention from people who do not even understand you. But a deeper mind reveals a deeper desire, not what impresses others, what transforms you, not what looks good, what feels inevitable, not what is loud, what is true. So how do you fulfill a desire in 5 minutes? Not by forcing the universe, not by repeating fake affirmations while your body is full of doubt, not by pretending you already believe something you do not believe. You begin by doing something much stranger. You stop. For 5 minutes, you stop feeding the surface. That is where it starts. Because sometimes the desire is already there, fully formed, but buried under static, under fear, under social media, under other people's expectations, under old failures, under the voice that says, "Don't even try." And this is where Lynch becomes useful. Because he understood something most people never learn. You do not get the deepest things in life by wrestling them to the ground. You get them by becoming available to them. That is a completely different posture. Availability, receptivity, stillness. You want something? Fine. But before you go chasing it, sit down and become quiet enough to know whether it is truly yours. That alone can save years of your life. Because many desires are implants. They were placed in you by culture, by status, by envy, by fear, by comparison, by loneliness. And if you pursue implanted desires, even success will feel empty. You get the thing. And then what? Nothing. Because it was never your desire to begin with. But the real desire feels different. It has weight. It has heat. It has an inner electricity. You do not need to force yourself to care about it. You already care. It keeps returning. It survives your distractions. It survives yourself. It survives time. That is the desire worth trusting. So here is the 5-minute method. Not magic. Not fantasy. Just alignment. Minute 1. Get completely still. No music. No scrolling. No stimulation. No performance. Sit somewhere quiet, especially in the morning if you can. There is something powerful about the first silence of the day. Before the world starts telling you what matters. Before messages arrive. Before notifications colonize your mind. Before your nervous system gets hijacked. Just sit and breathe. Do not try to be spiritual. Do not try to be profound. Just let the water settle. Minute 2. Bring your desire into the room. Not 10 desires. Not your entire wish. 1. Just 1. Name it clearly. Not vaguely. Not, "I want a better life." Not, "I want to be happier." Not, "I want everything to work out." Too blurry. Say the real thing. I want to make the film. I want to leave the dead relationship. I want to build the channel. I want to write the book. I want to move cities. I want to create the music. I want to become the person I know I am. Now hold that desire in silence. Do not argue with it. Do not explain it. Do not justify it. Just let it sit there. Minute 3. Notice what image appears. This part matters. Lynch trusted images. Not everything meaningful arrives as a sentence. Sometimes the truth comes as a feeling. A color, a room, a face, a road, a stage light, a door opening, a handwriting on paper, a version of you standing in a new life. That image may not make logical sense yet. It does not need to. The intellect always wants a full explanation too early. But deep desire often arrives as an image before it becomes a plan. So trust the image. If your desire were already moving toward reality, what image would your mind produce? What scene appears? Not the final reward. The first honest scene. You sitting down to work. You sending the message. You uploading the video. You saying no. You walking out. You beginning. That is important, because desire becomes real the moment it becomes visible. Minute 4. Now invite the darkness in. This is where most people fail, because the moment a real desire appears, fear appears with it. Embarrassment, doubt, shame, the memory of past failure, the voice of your parents, the voice of your ex, the voice of the crowd, the voice that says, "Who do you think you are?" Most people try to destroy that darkness immediately, but fighting fear directly often feeds it. You give it more attention, more energy, more drama. Instead, look at it, let it enter the room. Say, "Fine, you can be here. You can sit in the corner, but you do not get to drive." That changes everything, because now the darkness is not your master. It is just weather, and weather passes. The desire stays. This is one of the deepest shifts a person can make, not waiting to become fearless. Moving while fear is present, not demanding perfect confidence. Allowing truth to become stronger than resistance. That is power. Minute 5. Ask one question. What is the smallest real action that honors this desire today? Not this year, not eventually. Today, smallest real action. That phrase is important. Because fantasy loves big gestures. Reality loves specific movement. If you want to write, open the document. If you want to start the channel, write the title. If you want to change your life, send the email. If you want to heal, make the appointment. If you want the new future, do the first visible thing that belongs to that future. A desire is fulfilled twice. First internally, when you stop betraying it. Then externally, when you build a life around it. And most people never reach the second stage because they never complete the first. They never truly say yes. They flirt with desire. They romanticize it. They consume content about it. They fantasize about the version of themselves who someday does it. But they do not enter the image. They do not step inside. And that is why 5 minutes can change everything. Because 5 minutes is long enough to hear yourself again. Long enough to separate your real desire from noise. And loyalty is the hidden secret. To fulfill a desire, you must become loyal to it before the world rewards you for it. Before anyone understands. Before there is evidence. Before there is applause. You become loyal first. That is the test. Not whether you want it when it is easy. Whether you can remain true to it in silence. Lynch understood that the deepest things do not come from frenzy. They come from going within. From diving. From listening. From catching what is alive down there. And maybe that is the real point. Your desire is not asking you to become somebody else. It is asking you to stop abandoning the person you already are. So tomorrow morning, or maybe tonight, sit down for 5 minutes. Sit still. Name the desire. See the image. Let the fear be present without obeying it. Then do one real thing. That is how worlds begin. Not with thunder, with an inner yes. And once that yes becomes real, life starts arranging itself around it. Because the moment you stop scattering your energy, desire stops being a fantasy. It becomes a direction, a current, a road. And maybe fulfillment is not getting everything you want. Maybe fulfillment is becoming someone who can finally receive what was always trying to find them. That is the deeper miracle. Not manifestation as control, manifestation as alignment. Just diving deep enough to catch the big fish and bringing it back to the surface.